Rogers. This is my research presentation for Chapter 16, the window treatment styles. All right. When used alone or in combination, window coverings, which include curtains, draperies, shades, blinds, shutters, and awnings, may be adorned with rods, cornices, holdbacks, tiebacks, and valances. To obtain the desired aesthetic, treatments may call for soft or stiff, heavy or lightweight cloth. Age-old designs continue to be realized and reinvented in different ways as the diversity of modern fabrics, colors, patterns, and components continuously evolves. In general, curtains are relatively sheer, lightweight covers that are hung without a liner, while draperies are heavy, often opaque covers that are usually hung with a liner. Curtains and draperies are typically woven or knitted, but some newer treatments include components such as glass strands and polymer sheet fabric. The covers of some curtains and curtain treatments are hung as fixed, not transverse panels, meaning that they don't move. Others hang as continuous panels that can be opened and closed as desired. So here we have pictured some common curtain treatments. We've got stationary casement panels, which have a non-traversing curtain rod inserted through casing, and sometimes they will have a heading to form a ruffle. We have two-way draw curtains, and two-way draw curtains traverse and have movement. Sash curtains are panels that are anchored at upper and lower edges. These are usually on things such as French doors. We have ruffled tiebacks. These do not cross at the upper edges. And then we have Priscilla curtains, which overlap at the top, and they are also ruffled tiebacks. But it's a different kind. You see how they overlap up here? These ones don't overlap. Right here we have the cafe curtains. So cafe curtains are constructed with scallop headings and hung by rungs looped over a rod. So here we have single tier cafe curtains, and here we have multi-tier cafe curtains. And then here we have the cottage or Cape Cod curtains. So this is when single tier cafe curtains are combined with ruffled and tied back panels. So you can see the single tier, but then you've also got ruffled tie back panels here. Some common drapery treatments. So here we have the one-way draw, which is drawn in one direction, stacking on one side of the window. So see how it goes here. Here we have the two-way draw, which is drawn to stack on both sides. And here we have the held back and tied back, which are cords, chains, panels that secure the panels. And then we have the poof treatment, which is also called the bishop's sleeve, and it has tiers of billowed out areas, as you can see here. Talk about blinds and shades. Now, blinds and shades are drawn vertically, as opposed to curtains and draperies, which are drawn horizontally. Blinds and shades can be made in a variety of ways, some using fabric, others using metal or wood. Blinds and shades can be motorized or manipulated manually. They can include options for blackouts and solar preservation. While shades are a single solid window covering made of softer materials, blinds are structural window coverings with slats that may be tilted open or closed. So here, pictured, we have some shades to show you that they're usually made of softer, more textiles. And blinds are made of harder coverings, usually wood, things like that can tilt open and close. So here's some examples of some blinds, and here's some examples of the shades. Now we're going to talk about awnings and shutters. Awnings and shutters, both internal and exterior, are constructed either from hard materials or a mix of textiles and stiff materials. Awnings can either be stretched and held over a stiff frame, or they can be rigid constructions made of metal or molded polymer sheets. Although they are typically employed as outdoor window decorations, awnings occasionally find creative uses inside. Awnings on the outside of windows both lessen solar heat transmission and offer weather protection. The most often used materials for outdoor applications are coated vinyl textiles and woven fabrics made of solution dyed acrylic and olefin fibers because they are resistant to sunshine, mildew, insects, water, wind, and atmospheric pollutants. Shutters reduce both internal heat loss in the winter and solar heat gain in the summer. Shutters are often made of wood or oak, which is stained or painted the appropriate color. Each rectangular section's crosswise louvers are open and closed by vertically shifting stiles, and hinges allow the units to be folded and unfolded to regulate inward and outward vision, the amount of light transmission, and heat gain and loss. Wooden shutters can occasionally be softened in appearance by using textiles. In some places, shirred cloth may be used in place of wooden planks. So some examples of some awnings and shutters, just a visual here. So here are some awnings. Here you can see they are on the top of the window to protect there against weather, bugs, sunshine, like I said. And then shutters are usually on the sides of the windows. So you've got a couple different styles here. And then I found this image, which was really useful. This shows you some different common kinds of shutters. You've got the louvered, raised panel, board and batten, Bahama, Bermuda, and the flat panel. So these are just different common types of shutters you see. As you can see, this is this kind, and then here you've got the louvered. Sustainability in interior design pertaining to window treatments. So now we're going to talk a little bit about sustainability pertaining to the window treatments that we just discussed. So first you had to see what kind of window treatments there are, and now we're going to talk about how we can achieve sustainability within this chapter. Sustainability and eco-friendly interior design is important. We are already seeing some of the effects of what the human race has done to our environment thus far, and if we want to continue life on this magnificent planet, we must keep finding ways to reduce our emissions, as well as reuse and recycle what we have already manufactured. Upon my research for sustainability of window treatments, I found Graber Blinds. This is what the site has to say about their product. Graber uses only 100% North American hardwood for its Graber Traditions wood blinds and shutters because it is lightweight, consistent in color, and durable. To ensure the hardwood supply is long-lasting, foresters working with Graber practice sustained yield forest management, meaning nearly twice as much hardwood grows as is harvested each year. Thanks to responsible practices like this, the volume of hardwood trees in North American forests is 90% larger today than it was 50 years ago. It goes on to say that they have these blinds, roller and solar shades that use Green Guard indoor air quality certified materials with low chemical and particle emissions to preserve clean air. So Graber Blinds isn't the only brand making an effort to offset their carbon footprint, but I was impressed by their drive to grow twice as much hardwood as is used each year. Their sustainable window treatment company. This short video tells us a little bit about what they use and includes some examples of their blinds. All right, so now we're going to talk about sustainability with curtains. So traditional curtain fabrics can be made of synthetic materials like polyester, which deplete the planet's resources at an unsustainable rate. By using toxic chemicals and artificial dyes, traditional curtain fabrics also contribute to the environmental harm by contaminating water sources, the air, and our health. In addition, a lot of large brands in home decor have a reputation for using unethical labor methods, underpaying and abusing employees in other nations. Eco-friendly draperies, especially those that have Global Organic Textiles Standard certification, rely on sustainable, earth-friendly materials, including linen, hemp, organic cotton, and recycled materials. Hemp is the most sustainable crop since it uses less water and replenishes soil nutrients. Additionally, it is biodegradable and a strong cloth. Organic linen is a close second. Additionally, toxic compounds like dyes, chemicals, and water pollution are avoided by using organic linens. Cultivating linen takes minimal water and may actually remove CO2 from the atmosphere. 1 hectare of flax can remove 3.7 tons of CO2, making it an excellent option for home design. Another option is organic cotton. Compared to conventionally farmed cotton, this new and adaptable fabric is cultivated with non-genetically modified seeds, without pesticides, and with less natural resources. Recycled curtains would of course also be a great option for sustainability. So this YouTuber discusses eco-friendly options for window treatments in your home.
Hi you guys, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and today I am going to talk to you guys about our window treatments, and how we can make sure that they're really healthy and toxin free for our home. So this is kind of, it's different parts of your windows. Obviously, buying a window in and of itself is a very big investment. A lot of times we do most of them in our house instead of just doing like one at a time. And so that's going to be a bigger project, but I do have some ways that we can try to find healthier alternatives to maybe like a vinyl window, which has a lot of toxins in it because it is plastic, essentially, and it will off-gas in your house. So I'm going to talk about that in this week's video and blog post. And then I also wanted to touch base on window treatments. This is a question I get a lot, and people want to know, how can I keep this part of my home toxin free, especially if you're looking for an alternative to, say, like mini blinds, or like just a shade that you pull in your home, and make sure that it's free of like plastics, vinyls, and what a good option would be. I'm also covering some blackout shades, because a lot of times that has a layer that has some toxins in it in order to block out the sun. We can't use just like a regular cotton a lot of times, and so I have some really great options for that. Links to those products that I'm going to be mentioning are in this week's blog post. Otherwise, I'm going to take you guys through some slides, and we'll talk about the different toxins that are in each of these parts of your window and window treatment, and then we will talk about some great options that you can find for your own home if you're going to be shopping for windows, or if you're just looking for new window treatments. You can do it either way. I think that no matter what you do, whether it's replacing a window, and that's a big expensive thing, or you're just replacing something small like a window treatment, you can make a healthier choice and avoid bringing additional toxins into your home. And by doing that one step at a time, we're really going to create an environment in our homes that is healthy, one that promotes wellness, one that supports our immune system. So let's go through the slides and we'll take a look and see what we've got. All right, you guys, so here we go. Whether you're looking to do like a small project, or you really want to like dive in and tackle a partial remodel, there are always beneficial ways that you can improve your home through choosing better products and materials, and that's just what we're going to talk about today. Every time you replace something in your home, whether it's natural blinds or organic curtains, or even like a big project like eco-friendly windows, you guys can bet that choosing a healthier product is going to prevent some amount of toxins from entering your homes. You might be wondering why it even matters, and if you really need to pay attention to these factors, because I think a lot of times we think, what's just like one small thing in our home, but it really will make a difference in terms of your health and wellness. I'm a huge supporter of the idea that yes, just one small change can make a huge difference, especially when those changes start to add up, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today. And I think you're going to get a good idea of some things that you can do. So let's get started. So let's talk about toxic window materials. Many toxins are in actually newer windows. A lot of windows are being replaced with like vinyl windows that are completely maintenance free. And while these options are super convenient for the typical homeowner, there is a give and a take when it comes to this option. Vinyl contains toxins such as PVC, phthalates, and bisphenol toxins. These are all related to that vinyl plastic component. Vinyl is a type of plastic, and it contains off-gassing chemicals that will enter your home. The chemicals are harmful to the natural production of your hormones, and as we add more and more of these hormone disruptors to our home, our body, including our immune system, becomes suppressed and unable to function on a healthy level. Other health risks include abnormal reproductive development, like especially in children and teens, hormone disruption, like I talked about, and then problems with the neurological system. So these are all things we want to avoid that are found as contributing factors from the polyvinyl chloride toxin, which is in vinyl windows. So now let's talk about some eco-friendly options. So unfortunately, there's really like no 100% non-toxic option when it comes to windows. There are definitely better options for your health and wellness and for your environment at home. The first is wood. Wood windows are generally treated with different pesticides. This is to prevent pests from like eating away at your windows. And then they're also treated to prevent mold, bacteria, and mildew. And then they're usually coated in a stain and a finish that contain VOCs. So if you can find windows that are untreated, that don't contain VOCs, you have a good thing. But the great thing about wood is that generally you can seal the chemicals and toxins in with a VOC blocker like AFM Safe Seal, and I have that linked in this week's blog post. But if you were to opt for like a newer window, I probably wouldn't recommend a wood window unless you can ensure that it is completely untreated and unstained. And then from there, you can add your own eco-friendly window stain and clear coat as you wish. So the next option is aluminum. And oddly enough, this is actually a really great option. It's usually a powder-coated aluminum, and this is like the best when it comes to eco-friendly windows. There are almost no toxins with this type of window in the frame as long as you opt for a window that is uses like a baked on enamel as opposed to like painting it. So you'll want to look for that and ask your window dealer or manufacturer that question. The other nice thing about aluminum is it's very low maintenance. It's considered an eco-friendly window alternative when building like a greenhouse. So then let's talk about how do we care for windows once we either, have toxin free in our house or we just want to, maintain the windows we have. You don't want to ruin them by using like toxic caulking, adhesives, or cleaners on them. So this is one really simple way that you can prevent toxins and chemicals from entering your house like on a day-to-day level. I did a blog post a while ago that talked about caulking and adhesives. I have that linked in this week's blog post. But basically, you want to avoid introducing new chemicals and toxins into your space by bringing in a caulking that has toxins in it. You will want to be like putting the caulking in the gaps in the windows as they come up, and it's very important as part of a home maintenance plan. You'll also want to make sure that you're using a toxin-free cleaner that is free from ammonia, synthetic fragrances, and other added chemicals. I have a post linked in this week's blog post as well that kind of helps you with finding a cleaner that's appropriate for your home. Basically, these are the maintenance items for any type of window. So now let's talk about, we're kind of moving from, the big purchase, which would be windows, to maybe blinds. So this is something that we probably change out more often than windows, and yet it's often completely missed when we're talking about reducing or limiting toxins in our homes. The great thing is that there are more natural blinds out there than ever before, and you can really find a cost-effective option for your home. One of the toxins that we want to avoid again is vinyl or PVC. It should just generally be avoided. These materials can contain like plastic toxins that we know are really harmful to like our neurological system, our hormone production, and our immune system. Also harmful to our hormone production, our immune system, as well as our reproductive system. And let's see here. Another blind material that you generally want to avoid is aluminum. Now, I know we talked about this for windows. In blinds, a lot of them are made with like a polyester-based enamel finish, and it off-gases in your home. That's like a petroleum product. And then you also really want to be careful of faux woods and composite blinds, as they can contain PVC toxins as well as formaldehyde in them. So we kind of already talked about what these are harmful to in terms of health, and that is our hormone production, immune system, reproductive system, and really just burdening our body in general. So let's talk about the natural blind options. This is the good stuff. Really great option would be like bamboo blinds. Usually they're roll up or like Roman style, and you can find organic and green versions of these natural blinds that are treated with no chemicals. You can get woven shades that are like no VOC, no toxins, natural fibers. Earth shade is one of my favorites. It's a great option for an untreated version of like a natural bamboo blind. This first one up here you can find at Blinds Chalet, and I have that linked in this week's blog post. And we want to find something that's like toxin-free, natural fibers. Eco-friendly is great. Something that can conserve energy is a really great option. So how do we care for these natural blinds once we put them in? Really, it's boiling down to like dusting. They don't need a whole lot of maintenance. Natural blinds really aren't much different than regular blinds. So I think if you want to keep dust away, that's very important to the rest of the health of your home. It reduces static. It removes toxins that are found in dust, and it will reduce like dust mite production when we're talking about that just overall in your home. Use like a natural dusting cloth, and then you can gently wipe down the blinds, and you're good to go. So now let's talk about curtains and drapes. So this is like the outer part of your window. So a lot of times we'll do like window and then the shade, and then we'll add a drape. So curtains are one of the easiest swaps. I did it in my house. You'll feel really good about the change. And as I've learned more about toxins present in textiles and fabrics, I'm really glad that I did. Switching to like an organic curtain is a painless swap. It just takes a little bit of research. And one of the big reasons, when we start looking at toxic curtains, is there's a lot of pesticides, formaldehyde, flame retardants in these drapes that we hang in our home. So curtains, especially blackout curtains, have an element of PVC and vinyl added to them to block out the sunshine and heat. These toxins are harmful to the endocrine system, and they also create problems with the immune system and neurological systems. Something that is fabric, where the fabric is like wrinkle free, is also something to be avoided. A lot of times they're embedded with formaldehyde, which keeps them wrinkle free. And also they have like a coating that keeps them stain resistant, which is also toxic to our body and a known carcinogen. And these things can off-gas for a really long time, so we want to avoid them. And then here are the list of reasons why we want to avoid these things that we already talked about. So now let's talk about some natural options, and I've got some great links for you guys in this week's blog post that you can find in the description. Organic curtains and organic blackout curtains are just much easier to find now than they ever have been, so this is good for us. You'll want to look for like a 100% organic linen or cotton. You can also look for third-party certifications like the GOTS certification, the OCO tech standard tag can help you. And then another great thing is to look on Etsy. I have found 100% cotton curtains there that are like partial light blocking. They also have sellers that will custom make things for you. So I have a couple links in this week's blog post with those options in them. I also found a line at Home Depot that has they have an organic cotton curtain and drape section that are free from added chemicals. And then how do we care for these organic curtains? First and foremost, we want to be washing them. Wash them regularly. If they are a natural fiber, then you can put them in your washing machine. Wash them on a hot cycle if you can. Let them air out in the sunshine if you can. Use a plant-based detergent, of course. Hot water is going to help reduce dust mites and kill anything that's embedded in the fabric. You can dry them with organic dryer balls, like I said, or line dry them outside in some sunshine to disinfect them. On the dryer balls, you could put some essential oil to give them a little freshness. But that's it. That's everything that we want to do, starting from the window all the way out to the window treatments to keep them toxin free. So that is what I would recommend for finding healthy windows, healthy window treatments, and how you can cut some toxins out of your home. I have this week's blog post with all of the links.
All right, so that concludes our presentation. Here are some of my sources, including the textbook, some other information I got here, the Graber blinds. All right, thank you so much. Once again, this is Jamie Rogers, and that concludes my Chapter 16, Window Treatments and their Sustainability presentation.